Hi friends, strangers, internet. My name is EmilyHanhan. I love colorful makeup and colorful language. And I feel incredibly normie today. I don't know what that little head shake was about. Welcome to yet another edition of Grinchmas. Another day, another video. Now today we are talking about my fails of 2020. Makeup fails, that is. I love good makeup around here. I love trying new makeup. I love testing formulas. I love doing all of those things. But sometimes they don't love me back. So I have a pile over here of things to talk about. And let's just get right into it. Actually, let me do the thing that all of us creators have to do and say, if I'm mentioning anything that you love, please continue to love it, enjoy it, use it, do all of those things. Most things that are in my pile are from brands I really like. I don't buy from brands I don't really like. So, you know, we're not talking about brand hating. We're just talking about makeup, okay? Okay. I'm just gonna start with actually, you know what? I'm gonna start with the product. I think one of the only products that I don't have with me still. That's because I took it the fuck back. That is the Natasha Denona Love Cheek Palette. I did an entire video testing this out. I will have it linked in the cards. That was a no from me. I like glitter. I like it a lot. I like glittery highlighters. I like glittery things on my eyes. I don't work with loose glitter as much, but like, I like glitter. That palette, the one cream product in there was a nice formula. I will give that palette that. Both of the blushes were very glittery. One even felt like a glitter top coat, like that kind of highlighter or eyeshadow formula, but in a blush pan. The highlighter was fine, but probably not quite the right shade for me anyway. But the really glittery blushes, I just couldn't do it. It felt like it could have been a thing. It could have been a love. It could have been a true love. But the formulas were just not quite right. And for $55, they need to be right. Speaking of a cheek product, the one Fenty cream cheek product I decided to pick up is the one that everyone complains about and doesn't like, Fuego Flush. This is theoretically an orange blush. It's really an orange highlighter. That's really what it is. The formula shears out, which could be nice, except you get little sparkles of gold just like floating around on your skin, and they don't really look like they belong because the blush color has sheared out, but then the sparkles are just there. I really was excited for this theoretically, or I wanted to like get into the hype, you know, the Fenty hype. Don't like it. It's really just sitting in my vanity, and I should probably throw it away at this point in time. Makes me sad, but don't like it. Another creamy product that's not a cheek product. It's from a brand that is new to me in terms of using the products, but not new to me in terms of admiring the artistry. Denona Myricks. So I kind of went in and I made a couple of orders with Denona this year, and there's a lot of gorgeous products in her lineup, but unfortunately I have two to talk about. One are the cushion cream cover, the formula of her foundation, concealer. These are the samples. You can buy them, I think, for $5 each. This formula is just too rich and thick for me. As a concealer, it's a formula that I can like feel sitting on my eyes or under my eyes or on my face. And as a foundation, way too thick. And it doesn't feel like something that I can like blend out. I mean, I'm using the Pat McGrath concealer under my eyes right now, and that is a pretty high coverage concealer, but I don't feel it sitting underneath there, and I don't feel it like sitting there. It's like the longer I had the cream covers on, the longer I felt them kind of on my face. So this is sadly a fail. Another Denona fail. The waterproof cushion colors. Again, I bought 3 of these. It was a set. There's a set that had 3 cushion colors and 3 of her color fixes. And this seemed like a neon product that I could possibly finally use. It's a very, very watery product. So I struggle with kind of knowing how to use this or feeling the desire to pick it up, because it's so thin that it really doesn't work as a liner, and it could work as a base, but even then sometimes it doesn't blend out super evenly. I'm a little sad because the other thing that I noticed that Denona is now or soon coming out with some neon colors in the Color Fix formula. I feel a little bummed that like I spent the money on these when I could have just waited to pick some of those up. And now I'm a little too jaded to pick some of those up because I'm sad about these. Okay, let's continue on the neon train. Now I know, drugstore, shouldn't expect too much. I get it. But I was still hoping that the Milani Fruit Fetish eyeliner, the kiwi color, I was hoping it might be a nice formula. No, it's really not. Again, I might be able to use this as an eyeshadow base, but to get enough color on the eyes for it to show up, once it started drying down, it got really crackly and just unpleasant. I only tried this like twice because no. And on the other end of things, this is a fail for me, but I can work with it. And that is the JD Glow Liquid Gel Liner. This is a neon green. This is in a neon green. It's not just a neon green, but that's also the color name. Now, this one, that one, I mean, you can see how like hot it is. I still have issues where when I'm going to use this and I want to create a wing and build up the color so that it's one tone and impactful, it does get a little crackly or crunchy. I think because it does like kind of glow with the intensity that it does, I'm going to keep trying to use this and find uses for it. But right now, I don't have really any desire to buy any of the other neon liners from JD Glow because I'm just don't know about them. I don't expect them to perform all that great. So speaking of products that I wasn't really expecting them to work for me, but I hoped, let's talk about all of the pastel liners that have hit the market lately. I have 3 from Beauty Bay, and then I have the 5 new LA Girl pastel liners. Now, with the LA Girl ones, the purple and the blue are still to be determined because I did have one good experience with the blue, and the purple, I'm not sure, I don't think I've tried them yet. But these 3, they barely transferred to my waterline. The peachy tone one transferred, but literally like I looked at it, it looked fine. I looked away, all of the liner had traveled from my waterline to the front edge of my eyeball where it was the driest. And these just barely show up from Beauty Bay. Like, they will swatch nicely on my hand, but I tried to put some in my waterline today, and it's a hint of something. I'm not saying like nobody else might have luck with these, but my asshole waterline still hates almost everything, including Beauty Bay and LA Girl liners. NYX cannot do brow colors. I don't know what it is. Every brow thing I try from NYX is like the most warm toned. This is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Longwear Brow Kit. That's supposed to be a pomade that has a brush in it, but you could also use a comb to apply it. Except this thing broke off for me when I was trying to open it the second time. I opened it one time and I was like, that's really like warm toned, and I tried it in my brows and it was really warm toned, and then I went to open it again and that broke off and I can't get it open. So I've always wanted to do that, but I've never really done it before. So the remaining pile of things that are fails they're from brands I really like, including a brand that I get PR from. I'm just gonna start there. I didn't think that these were fails until I picked them up again recently. Oh, the Kaleidos blush duos. I used some of the matte formula again recently, and I felt like they faded on my cheeks so incredibly quickly. I think I picked up the rose one recently, and I was using the matte color on my cheeks and it just faded so quickly. And the other downside of these, which I do think I talked about when I first talked about this release, I could have missed it though, but I think I did, is that I just think that the duochrome shine on the glowy part of the blushes is really, it's more like an eyeshadow or like a pigmented highlighter, like a colorful highlighter. That's what it feels like more than a blush or blush topper, and it just didn't feel the most easiest to work with the matte tones. So I feel like the idea was kind of cool, but the tones in the duochromes paired with the tones in the mattes like just didn't quite live in harmony together. So I realized like the longer I've had these, like I don't reach for them, and I'm a blush slut. So for me to not be interested in like a glowy matte blush duo, and oh, this one hurts. This one hurts. The Kaleidos Futurism 6 Lunar Lavender. Like, this is such a dreamy palette, but my experience putting this on my eyes was not dreamy. The mattes really struggle to like stick and hold and blend together. The shimmers are pretty, but they definitely have a more sheer formula, and sometimes building them up was a struggle even on a sticky glitter glue base. I am very appreciative for any of the PR that I receive, especially Kaleidos. They started sending PR to an incredibly small creator. Whether or not that continues into 2021, I don't know actually, but I just, it's sad because like I wanted this to be like a dreamy purple lavender palette, and unfortunately it just doesn't seem like it. If you're not new here, you might have heard me talk a little bit about a specific brand. I did a whole video about a palette release that we'll talk about in a minute. But I also wanted to quickly talk about the Book of Shadows from Color Grain. So the Book of Shadows is a 3-layer empty shadow palette. So it comes with like clear pages for labeling. There's a big mirror on this cover, and then each page has 24 spots for eyeshadows. So in total you can hold 72 eyeshadows in here. Okay, I ordered this on a sale. I ordered this because I wanted to see what I thought about this and what I thought about the larger Power palette. Spoiler, I love the larger, I think it's a 96 pan Power palette from Colored Rain. Specifically, that's the one I bought because it's been on sale. It has beautiful soft touch, rose print, but it's bigger. And this, when I first saw this released, I thought this is gonna be huge. It's gonna be like gigantic. Actually, in terms of the size of it, it's not huge feeling. It's thick, but it is a heavy palette. So this is the Adept Cosmetics, their original palette size. It's their two-sided plastic palette, and the Colored Rain one is just a little bit smaller. So in terms of size and scale, the Book of Shadows is not too bad. Once you fill it up, it is a heavy palette. But the thing that I thought might be an issue with this palette is an issue. So when you have it open, and if you're on page 2 or page 3, you have gravity working against these pages of shadows. If you don't buy super soft, flaky formulas of shimmers, or if you do not tend to repress your shadows, this might be a great option for you. But because I both love shimmers that are more on the flaky, textural side, and because I repress my eyeshadows often, whether it's because I break them or they're from a different palette, I find that the gravitational pull on them in this side of the book when I have it open or when I'm using it is a little bit too much. Even for shadows that I thought were repressed pretty well, there's something about that, either having it, you know, upright like this, like holding it while I'm getting other ones out, or flopping it completely open. It just, it's not a good one for me. Adept, your matte shadows are just, no. The Adept matte shadows for me are some of the worst matte shadows I've worked with ever. Y'all have heard me rave about the Plain Jane palette, the diamond shades, some of the shimmers, the empty palettes like the Croc Adept palette, perfection. But they're matte single formulas. Now I've tried 6 of them. The greens, a light blue, a purple, and a pink. And I just find these to have a very like thin formula. And something like the pink, okay, it looks impactful, but it's like such a thin, I don't know, it's such a thin formula. It's something I have a hard time like building up on my eyes. I have a hard time like blending colors together. Like if you wanted to do like a sheer wash or like just a wash of a color and just use one color, I feel like you might like this formula. But for me, this palette is full of things I've decluttered this year, and all of the mattes that I bought from Adept are in here. So now, on to the, is it the grand finale? I don't know. Y'all have heard me talk about this palette, and I feel kind of bad. But, you know, we're here to talk about fails, so juicy boost. I wanted to like this. I wanted to be so excited about this, but me and this formula, we do not get along. I did a whole video about this. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I will I will have that video linked here. Yeah, I get patchiness, a little bit of a struggle to blend or blend together. Some of the colors just like don't even, for me, show up on me, like the light yellow, even the lightest green. The textured shimmers are pretty, but there's something about this texture that's almost like, it's like too textured. It can be hard to get like an even application. I don't know, there's something about this metallic formula that kind of reminds me of what people might consider like pressed flakies. I don't think that the metallics are the worst of this bunch. I wish that the colors that were in here had more clear definition between them. I wish there was less like red and pink, and you could have thrown in some more tones. They don't really perform on my eyes the way I'm looking for colorful mattes to perform. So that's it. Those are my fails of 2020. Let me know, did we share any fails this year? Was there anything I talked about on my channel that you would have expected to see in this video? Because it's totally possible that I missed something. I could have missed things. I tried to look through my collection and see what has been neglected or straight up hated on. And yeah, if you enjoyed this, if you want to see more of my makeup opinions and more of my colorful shenanigans, definitely subscribe, follow along. Grinchmas is going to be going all month long, possibly through the whole month, maybe just through Christmas, we shall see. Also, yes, I did this whole video without mascara on and in a new to me blonde wig. I feel different. I'm not asking for opinions though about my looks. Also, share your fails in the comments if you had any beauty or skincare fails, things that you just absolutely cannot with. Because, I mean, we love loving makeup around here, but I also like to hear about what you hate. On that note, thank you so much to all of my patrons, to all my members. Thank you for just helping every day be a little bit easier, a little bit better. And thank you to everyone for supporting me in whatever way you can. Thank you for spending a bit of your day with me. Hopefully I will see you again real soon. Bye, friends.